Welcome, everybody, to another vidIQ live stream. That is my jam, and this is our starting screen. Isn't it great? Isn't it great when we leave that up? How is everybody today? I hope you are doing awesome. Really appreciate you coming out. Every Wednesday, we bring to you a conversation. We show you some cool stuff. We show you how to grow your channels, but by doing so in various different ways. And today, we're going to be having a conversation about how you can be preparing for the year ahead, the rest of the year, and try and get yourself, by doing so, try and get yourself to 1,000 subscribers or whatever goal you're currently striving for, whether it's your first 100 subscribers or your first 10,000 subscribers. So we're going to be doing just that. We'll start with a conversation. We'll talk for a while, and then we will take your questions for the rest of the live stream. So as we're going today, be sure you are writing down anything you think of, because we want to answer those questions for everybody here in chat instead of interrupting the conversation and going back and forth. It's a whole thing. So first, let's bring in guest number one, which is Mr. Viper. How are you?
Woo, I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I am great. So Viper just joined the vidIQ team. You officially start, I believe, next week.
13th, yep.
But you busted in here and said, no, I'm on this live stream.
Let's go. That's right. I'm here.
Just for everybody who may be new to you, you want to tell everybody about Viper?
Absolutely. So what's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech. I made tech content on YouTube. I've been doing it for 3.5 years now. So I have my own YouTube channel. I have two of them. I have one for just uploading videos, and then I have a separate channel just for live streams. So I talk about pretty much anything and everything on that live stream channel. But on the main channel, I talk about tech and different things like that. And as Dan alluded to recently, I agreed to become a full-time employee with vidIQ. So I will be on here probably a little bit more in the future. So happy to be here with Dan today. So appreciate you letting me crash, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here. Rob is out this week, so definitely, it's definitely helpful to get someone else in the co-chair today as well. And then our guest of honor today, coming back to the live stream once again, is Desiree. How are you?
Hi, how's everyone doing? Yes, I'm wearing a crown my daughter made for me today.
I love the crown. Welcome back to the live stream. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tell everybody a little bit about you for those who have not been introduced yet.
Sure. So I am the hostess of the Women of YouTube podcast, where we tell the stories of female YouTube creators to inspire others, and specifically women, to start and keep creating on YouTube. And we're very excited about being here because in 2 weeks, we celebrate our 100th episode.
That is a huge milestone.
It is. I'm so excited.
We are, I can tease this, we are somewhat involved in the planning for that.
Yes.
And
yes, we're doing that. Like, full disclosure, guys. Friday, not gonna want to miss it. Lady takeover of the vidIQ channel is going to be happening. We're going to be talking about YouTube and the state of it, and how females are having an impact on creating and content, and how far we have to look forward to going, and all the great things that are on the path for not just YouTube, but also YouTube for women, and all of the things that are ahead for us. It's going to be exciting.
Yes, definitely be here on Friday. We are doing a live stream. We don't normally live stream on Fridays, but every once in a while one pops up, and this time Desiree and friends will be taking over the channel. So all right. I did see that we're not starting question and answer yet, but someone did say this, and I feel like we should clear it up. Is this pre-recorded? No, this is actually live. So now you know. It is a live stream through and through. So what we're going to talk about today is going into planning. And I think it's something that a lot of creators may struggle with. I know I myself, as somebody who knows I need to be planning out my content on like the personal side, it's something that I don't make enough time for. And we got all kinds of stuff coming up. This is a good time of year to be planning, considering holiday season's around the corner. So Desiree, kick us off. Let's get into it.
So I know that it's really early, because I'm pretty sure that everyone is probably like me, and they're like, yo, back up off my Halloween. It's only the beginning week of September. But it's one of the things. I think one of the first things that's important to do as creators is we need to know what we're doing. And part of knowing what we're doing isn't like just looking at like what's going on right now in our life and right in front of our face with like the industry and stuff. Very much like what vidIQ has too. Like, Rob just had that video come out about the chapters, and like that's super relevant and topical. But there are things in every industry that you can kind of almost count on and look forward to. Like Black Friday ain't going anywhere. Christmas is always going to be here. The New Year's is coming. And so based on your industry, you need to be planning content, thinking about what's going to happen not only through the holidays, but also at the start of the year. So like for what I do with content, social media marketing, a lot of what I am going to be talking about is going to be stuff like getting ready for 2022. Like, what does social media marketing for LinkedIn look like? What does Instagram look like? What does Facebook look like? You know, how do I plan an effective content marketing strategy to go into 2022 with success? I also know the patterns of which my viewers are doing things, because I always have the worst view times in December, because the last thing anybody wants to do in December is learn about social media stuff, right? And so it's kind of one of those things that's like, I know I'm going to have a dip, but I use that time to create a lot of content that is going to be really powerful and helpful at the start of January. So like last year, I did Vlogmas in December, knowing that my numbers were not going to be great. And January hit, and it was literally like my views went up like by 40%, because so much of that content that I was talking about had to do with where everybody was coming into the start of the year. And when you create it first and early, you get categorized for it earlier, and you get recognized by YouTube earlier to make that kind of content happen. And so I think that this is a time where we have to look at our calendars and think, okay, what is most likely not going to change? What are the viewing habits of my audience? What are the things that my audience is going to be needing and doing come November, December, January, February, so that I can create content and get ahead on it and establish myself as the authority, while everybody else is probably going to make content reactively during that time.
So let's go around the table a little bit, and just to help people get into the mindset of what this looks like. Desiree, let's start with you. What kinds of examples can you give us of what content you're planning out? Maybe you don't want to spoil anything, but even vague examples of things you're planning.
So I'm going to be talking a lot about, so like even just like literally yesterday, I came out a video yesterday that was how to get started on LinkedIn in 2022. Like September, like that was one of my first videos. I have more of that kind of stuff coming out and trying to be topical. Like I'm going to be talking about like Facebook ads for the holidays, like how to effectively use those ad dollars, how to effectively target, because the ad dollars always go up at the holidays. And like, I need to make sure that my audience, who's business owners, and they need that holiday traffic, like what they can do. You know, brick and mortar restaurants and retail stores, what are they going to need to do through the holidays to have success? So like, these are the things I have coming up. And then probably in November and December is when I'll really drop that like start of year content planning strategy, doing the overhaul, things that I need to take into account, like my social media New Year's resolutions, like those really kinds of topics that are going to be happening then. So, but I also know my content is super like business focused and for business owners. So that kind of content might not make sense for someone who has like a gaming channel or is in entertainment based things, or if they have like a video podcast. Like, so it's really about understanding your audience and the patterns within your industry.
And then Viper, as somebody with a tech channel, what are some of the things that you're kind of, working through? I know that this is a big time of year for actual like products to start dropping, being announced. So it's probably a little bit different for you.
Ooh, I'm so glad you came to me, Dan, because just yesterday we had Apple come out and make their iPhone keynote official. So we know that next Tuesday there's going to be an Apple event from Cupertino, California, where they will probably announce the new iPhones, the new Apple Watch, and whatever else they have up their sleeve. So all of us tech content creators are getting all juiced up. We're getting all excited because it's Apple time, it's iPhone season, it's time to go to work. So you've seen a lot of Apple videos come out. Then obviously when the event happens next week, you'll get reaction videos, reaction live streams, and then you'll have some the chosen few who will have their first hands-on of the new devices and different things like that. And then next month, there's probably going to be more than one Apple event. So there'll probably be another one in October for a new iPads, maybe new MacBooks. And then we're expecting Google to announce the new Pixel 6 and 6 Pro in October. So this is high time for tech. We are getting excited. We are getting loaded. So it's easy for us tech creators to plan out content for the rest of the year, because this stuff happens like clockwork every single year. August is Samsung month. September is Apple month. October is usually Google and the new Pixels. and then we're focusing towards holiday time and best deal for the holidays in November, December. So this is prime tech season, and we are ready to lock and load here.
Do you take a vacation after December? Like, I don't know what happens with tech after December, but is that a struggle for you, or how do you deal with that?
You know what? It's funny that you asked, because January is probably the worst month on YouTube for tech content creators, because again, after December, nobody cares about buying tech in January. All our numbers like,
but that's when you would do. They all want to know how to use it, right? So that's when you would do the videos on how to do use your.
You would think so. You would think so, but the numbers don't. No, they don't show that. Like,
whoa, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, tech in January is like it's non-existent. So yeah, some tech content creators do take time off in January and February because it is a slow time. But I usually keep going though, because I like to keep the momentum going. But yeah, January is a slow period for tech, definitely.
Nice.
Myself, like I'll be helping out with content here at vidIQ, obviously, and similar to Desiree, we're going to be helping people prepare for these different events coming up. So a lot of our content, if it's not YouTube update related, it's going to be, hey, how can you capitalize on these different tentpole events and things like that. For the gaming side of it, on my more personal side of life, depending on what it is that I'm playing, what it is I'm presenting, a lot of games have holiday updates. And if they don't have holiday updates, there's a lot of ways you can strategize by bringing holiday spins into the game you're playing. So you're kind of, if you're willing to use your game that you play on your channel as like a playground, rather than, well, I'm just going to go with the flow. If the developers don't give me a holiday event, then whatever. If you can kind of bend the game to your will, there's any number of things. At that point, it's kind of like a vlog channel, as long as you're staying in that game and you're in your lane there. So
like if I was a gaming channel, and let's just say I didn't have like any game sponsorships or whatever, I think I would do like the games for like best games for kids, best games for your boyfriend, best games that your husband will love, like, games that your girlfriend might like, and talk about them, or like the must-have game for any PS2 lover. Like I would do that kind of stuff, because I mean, the proof, like, Sean Cannell, like that's how Sean Cannell built his channel. Like his first viral video was like 20 Christmas ideas for your boyfriend, I think is like what his first video was. And I think that could apply to anything, especially because, so much of gaming and stuff, I would feel like the success would probably be in like affiliates and stuff like that. So if you have games that you like, that people will, and audience people that like want to listen to you, recommend the games and have the affiliates, and then you can make money from it during that time, because people are always looking for gift ideas. And if I see one more list of gifts for dads that have ties and grill crap, I'm gonna punch myself. Like it's so stuff that's useful, especially because like my husband's a big gamer. So
that's a great point, because there are a lot of channels out there that they just want to be on the cutting edge. And this is a great time. Like there are new releases in the fall, and there's so much you could be showing. You could already be getting started, like, for games coming out next month, events happening. Again, like it just depends on the kind of gaming YouTuber you are. Some people are focused on that one game or that one type of game. And some people do like reviews, and they become like a tech channel, but for games, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of different ways. But I like this group here, because we all have like just different things we're focused on YouTube. And in every case, you can plan around holidays. And the other channels I always point to are cooking channels. It doesn't even matter what you make. You can put a Halloween spin on something you're baking or something you're cooking. Even if you're somebody who makes like savory, I just want to say meat videos, but that's not like barbecue, savory meat videos. Carve out your pork in the shape of a pumpkin. I mean, just get as creative as you can. So what else is going on, Desiree? You have a kind of an announcement. Maybe announcement's not the right word. I'll let you just take it away.
Yeah, no. So the TLDR version is I rebranded my YouTube channel, right? So but I have a whole journey as to like why I decided to do this. So I want to say about like May, I was just seeing this like dip in my views, and I was like, what is going on with my YouTube channel? Right. And I was looking, and I talked with a lot of people, and I just concluded that my 5 of my top 10 videos that were performing really well were bringing in the wrong demographic for my channel. So my channel focuses on business owners who are wanting to grow their business better, social media and content marketing. So it's very service-based businesses, entrepreneurs, that kind of thing. Well, I had a bunch of videos about how to use Facebook Marketplace. Mm-hmm. And everyone and their mom uses Facebook Marketplace to sell things, right? So it could be just like Joe Schmo neighbor down the street who works a normal cubicle job and like could be watching my videos. So when my videos would get shown to people, they weren't clicking on because they weren't interested in like 10 ways to use Facebook to grow your business. Like that didn't make sense to them. And so I was seeing this like drop. I was like, what the crap is going on? And my views in those videos were going up and up and up. I had to make a really gut-wrenching decision, and it sucks, but I had to delete the videos. Like it just was the worst because I was like, I knew by doing it, I was going to have a big tank in ads, a big tank in views, and it was just going to be, I'd have to rebuild it. And that's what I'm in the process of doing. And so along that journey, I also had this obvious, but not obvious realization. I don't know everything about social media. I've legit have been doing this since 2009. Like I have been a social media user since like 2003. You know, I got on Facebook when you could only get it with college email. Like I'm OG in this space for sure. But as it gets more complicated and time consuming and there's all these different rules on these different specialties, like it is unrealistic for me to try and keep it up. So it was just one of those things. I was just like, I need help. And so what I decided to do, so I run an agency called All-in-One Social Media where we do it for you social media services. And what I decided to do was rebrand my YouTube channel away from Desiree Martinez into All-in-One Social Media. And I am going to continue to make content, obviously, as like the person in charge of the channel, but I'm going to be creating more content with other experts. And so I have a lot of different ones lined up. So like right now we have Tisha, who as you can see in the most recent video, she's a LinkedIn expert. I have a woman named Martine Cadet, who's going to be talking about Facebook. I have a guy named Tom Belansky, who's going to be coming and talking about Facebook ads. Tracy, she's going to talk about restaurant marketing. I have a Reels expert. I have like a gear expert. All these people that are so good at what they do in their specialties to fill in these gaps that I don't have. And so I had to do this weird rebrand with this, not weird, it was a necessary growth step to rebrand. But I know a lot of people probably get really hesitant about it and like don't want to stop doing what's working because it's just one of those things that you usually have to take a hit. Like there's a financial hit, there's a view hit, there's a reach hit. But while I take this and then I'm working towards the big spike.
How did you? I'm asking this because I know how I would handle this, but I think a lot of people out there, this is what comes to mind when someone says, I rebranded my channel, I changed my name, I changed my avatar. How did that feel in terms of the audience you felt like you had built over the years? You know, did you worry at all that they would get confused, that they would abandon you? And if so, like, how did you kind of either come to terms with that or address that?
Say that again.
So you're rebranding your channel. You changed the name. You changed the avatar. It's still you, and the content is similar to what you were doing, but you've kind of added this whole new element. Did you worry at all about your audience that over the years who have been coming to your channel? Did you worry they would see this come up in their feed and go, I don't know who that is?
Yes.
I don't know what's going on.
Legit. That is legit my concern because everything I've been doing so far has been Desiree Martinez. It's been me, this expert, but it's more important to me I'm still a part of it. Like there's no denying that like it's like you're always going to see my face. It's like I'm not going to be there. But it's more important to me that my channel isn't about me. It's about my viewer and solving their problems and helping them with what they're trying to do. Because I mean, again, no one person can know everything, right? Even again, to use Sean Cannell and Think Media as an example again, Sean isn't creating all of the content on that channel. In fact, he probably creates a third of the content, even if not less, like compared to like what Teresa and the other two creators that are on the channel are doing. Like I said, if you're able to spread out your load, you're able to create more content to help your audience. And then also be a resource that everyone goes to them for what is needed and solve that problem specifically. And it's a different way, I think, of doing collaborations.
Right. I had a question and I lost it, which is always the best.
That was our golden ticket. Way to go, Dan.
That was it. We could have saved this live stream, and I was on the tip of my tongue, and it went away. Maybe Viper's burning to jump in though. How would you handle this, Viper, if you were in this position? You had to rebrand your whole channel and start fresh.
Ooh. That's hard, man. That's hard, especially if you spend a certain amount of time building up the channel to the point that you get it at, and then you realize that, I need to pivot and go a different direction. I kind of did this about 18 months ago, because when I first started out, I was doing all of the tech, but then I decided to only cover Apple stuff for a while. So I made that pivot, and it was okay, but it didn't produce the results that I thought it would produce. So now I'm going back to covering all of the things. But I think, like Desiree mentioned, this is a matter of looking at your analytics and seeing what's going on, like being in tune with what's happening with your channel. If you're not getting the views that you think you should be getting, or if your views are steadily declining, then you need to figure out what is going on. Why are my views declining? And then figure out what you need to do to make the change so you can get things back on the up and up. Because here's the thing about YouTube. It's never all good. It's never all bad. It is a constant roller coaster. And as a creator, when you sign on to do a YouTube channel, especially if you're trying to build a business with it, you have to be willing to accept the roller coaster that is YouTube, and things going up and things going down. You have to be willing to adapt and change to the things, the changes that are being made in the market, the platform, everything. Like, things are constantly evolving. Things are constantly changing. So if, as a content creator, you are not willing to evolve and change with the market and the times, you're not going to last long. So Desiree is doing the right thing. She sees that change needs to be done, so she's making a change. So kudos to her.
It's allowing me to do more. Like, when you're like, you have to think about one thing, like you just said something great, which is people change and things change and business change. Like we see with YouTube, it changes like every month. It seems like with YouTube, there's some new thing we got to pay attention to and focus on. And having places like vidIQ to demystify it for us and make it understandable is like amazing. But we as people change, like we as creators change, we as business owners change. And I wanted to be able to free up my personal brand to work on other projects. Like, I have other things that I'm working on, and by not having my literal name locked into something different, it was pigeonholing me and stopping it. And it was also stopping the growth of the channel for what it's supposed to do. As an individual, I'm only able to do so much, but as a brand, I'm able to do so much more. And so allowing for all on social media, which is, I think, a great name that encompasses what the channel is about, as well as what content is going to be on there, is going to really help with it to grow and reach its potential.
It's crucial that these decisions are made, and it's hard. I can give an example just from my own experience, and small potatoes compared to what you're doing, but similar. I have this old gaming channel that I have no intention right now of relaunching, right? But it's something, it's like a legacy thing for me. It's kind of like a cool thing that I did for a while. And if I go back and look at it now, it's getting some decent views from some older content, but it's content that I had stopped making a long time ago. Like, these were games I was playing that I had no intention of bringing back to the channel years later when I was on to other things. And those were still driving so many subscribers and so many views. And it was one of those things I never bothered to do, unlist those videos. I was never going back to that game. I was never going back to that group. I was never going back to being the person I was in that content. So people are subscribing and then very quickly unsubscribing once they kind of realize, like, oh, this channel isn't what I thought it was anymore. And I think just at its core, that's kind of what you're struggling with when you have videos that are kind of in the background taking off, and showing your channel to the wrong audience. And it's something we talk about constantly with channels. It's all about channel focus. You know, it just comes right back to that. And if you don't have that, it's going to confuse everybody involved. The YouTube algorithm doesn't know who to show your videos to. The people who are watching don't know what's going on when they subscribe to a channel from an old piece of content you made. And then the next video pops up in their feed and they're like, what is this? I didn't subscribe to this. Unsubscribe.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt. These people are watching these videos from me about how to use Marketplace, and then they're seeing all this business content. They're like, what? No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So you got to serve the people. You have to keep in mind, I'm trying to pick who I serve because I know what I'm doing with my business and my brand. And so I want to make content just for them. And when other people can benefit from it, that's great. But when those other people are becoming the target, that's the problem.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people, when we tell them you need to decide who you want to target as your audience, not only did you decide that before, you're deciding it again. You've now decided, now I want to target a different audience that makes more sense for me and my goals. And going into that gives you this clear focus, you know, as a creator. So yes, the views aren't going to be what they used to be because you just pivoted the whole channel. Now everything has to catch up. Now, you know, but you've committed to it.
And I think that I probably won't see what I want from it until the start of the year. Like I said, I know this is all establishing content. And then I'm going to have to go through the lull of December, and then January it'll pick up because I have all of these weeks and weeks of content that's been months and months of content being established in there to take care of things.
Yeah.
So,
but
it sucks, but it is what it is.
You're effectively though choosing your audience by doing this.
Yes. Well, I'm serving the audience that supports my business. Like my business talks to business owners, and I need to talk to them. I do not need to talk to people who are trying to figure out how to sell things on Marketplace because they want to do a garage sale or whatever. I do this all the time. I every time I move or I do spring cleaning, I use it all the time for that exact purpose. And that's great. And that's what it's for. And I was happy that the videos could help it. But that person most likely is not my target demographic to help support my brand and my business.
Oh, I got a question. How do you, Desiree, how do you feel about putting other people on your YouTube channel, the channel that you built up to 26,000 subscribers, and now you're putting other people on there? Because I was looking at the comments of this live stream, and somebody had commented that the only person they own on here is Dan. So it's probably going to be a little culture shock for people to see me on here a little bit more often now. But from you being the business owner perspective, how do you feel about putting other faces on your channel, or how do you feel like it will affect your audience, if at all?
Well, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of I've built up to this, right? So I did a whole announcement video about it that's on my channel, and people have responded very well to it. And they're very grateful that I am trying to help them more, right? So that's the first and foremost. So they're grateful for that piece. And I've talked about this on the podcast and on the live streams and stuff, that I use my YouTube channel as a lead source for my agency. And how I get leads is through email marketing. And so what I do is I offer opt-ins and freebies on every single one of my videos to help build my list. So when I made this announcement, I made this shift, I emailed my list and I told all 15,000 of them, hey, this is what's happening now. This is what you can expect. And I'll probably keep posting about it as we have been on social media and in my community tab. But I think what's most important is that people are going to serve the information that they need. If you look at resources like Think Media or like Afreeze or even vidIQ or Social Media Examiner, they have collaborations and other people that help build out their content, because what's most important is that the content comes from a trusted resource and they know that I want them to be able to count on my channel for anything that they need related to social media, not just this small little bits I have done, but everything from getting started with Facebook to advanced TikTok tutorials. Like I want to be that resource for them.
Right.
It's a really good question, because when I joined vidIQ, my first video was just going to be me, and then I talked to Rob, and he saw it, and he's like, I'm going to try something, and he interjected himself in my first video. He put himself in there, and it was a good way for the audience to kind of understand, like, hey, you're still here, you're still in the right place. this is just some other guy.
Yeah.
You know, different accent, little more hair, not much more, a little more, you know, so enjoy. And I felt like that was a really good way. Just if anyone out there is looking at these resource building strategies that Desiree is putting to use, and you're kind of worried about taking that plunge, or maybe having other people, other experts on your channel, that's one way you can do it, is kind of be there as well, you know, with that person. It could be an interview, or it could be you let them literally do a video and then you jump in there with different edits. There's a lot of ways to collaborate. So,
like I said, it's hard creating stuff all of the time. I think I have almost 500 videos I've created over the course of 4 years that has been just my face talking to people and educating people about all of the social media stuff that has changed and gone through and so much. And it's exhausting and it burns me out. And you can, like, I took a break over the summer and just did like 1 video a week. And usually I'm very aggressive with like 2 to 3 a week. And I was just like, because I was bored with the content and I was bored with saying the same things and not knowing the answers to stuff. And I was like, I know what needs to get done. I just don't know it. And like I said, the moment I had that like light bulb opportunity that came to me, that's like, I should have other people be creating content. I could do 3+ videos a week to answer questions and solve problems. Like I have a whole list, like literally right here, of like all these videos to do, plus another 30 other videos with collaboration. So it's like, it's going to make it so much better for the audience.
A lot of value from a lot of different people, a lot of different sides of social media. So yeah, that's really, really exciting. And I think it can only go up from here. It's kind of, when you do something like this, you might feel like, oh geez, you know, I have this many subscribers, but only this many views. What's going on? And you have to treat your channel as if you're starting a new channel. You actually have 0 subscribers. Like, this is a new thing. I don't know if this is how you're looking at it, but as a general rule, when people come to me and say, I'm thinking about pivoting my channel, that's always, it's like the worst case scenario is you're starting at 0, you know,
I think that
only go up.
I think there's a lot that has to go into that question though. Like I think about pivoting my channel. Okay. Why? What do you want to do? What does your current audience expect of you? What's led to this decision? I'm not pivoting my channel. I rebranded it and improved it. Like that's how I look at it, because I didn't just say, okay, I'm no longer Desiree Martinez, social media and content marketer. And I was like, I'm just going to do Facebook. Like that's not like I went like that kind of pivot, or was even just like, I'm just going to talk about YouTube or being a mom or something. Like it wasn't that hard pivot. It was literally like, okay, my audience, this has happened to my YouTube channel, and this is also what my audience needs, because I've polled them and I've emailed them, I've asked them, and they're asking for things I did not know. And so I was like, okay, so I need to level up my channel into this way that makes more sense.
Yeah. So sorry about the language there, because yeah, that is.
Oh no. I think that pivoting is important. I'm not trying to criticize. I hope it didn't come across that way.
No.
I think pivoting is a big question, and I think a lot of people ask, because if you're pivoting, there's a reason for it. Like your audience wants something different. You want something different. Something's not working. And, you know, even Daryl Eves always says you're just a couple tweaks away from blowing up. And if a pivot will help you with that, then that's exactly what you should do.
So yeah. I do want to, oh, sorry, Viper, were you going to?
I was just saying, yes. Yep.
I do want to get into Q&A, unless there's something else we wanted to cover beforehand. So feel free to speak now, or all right. So the other thing we got to mention is that now every Tuesday, some of you might be joining because you know that every Tuesday we audit channels, and you might be thinking, hey, like that's the vidIQ people, maybe they'll audit my channel. Not today. But today we will be taking your questions, and I want you to start getting those ready. If you do have our tool installed, though, you actually can audit your own dang channels until Tuesday when we can get to them. We have this fancy channel audit tool here, and this is going to tell you all kinds of helpful information. For example, it's showing us that right now the video getting the most views per hour is this one you're watching right now, because it is live. And then from there, we have some other videos. Of course, mine from earlier in the year is still dominating, which I love to see. And that's just one of many things. These are all signals that YouTube is giving you. Maybe you're trying to think, what can I double down on? Well, maybe you should look at content that's bringing you a lot of subscribers right now, or a lot of views. These are all things that you could be looking at. The channel audit tool is all kinds of fun stuff. And you can get this tool, try it for free, and all of our tools for free, our full suite of tools, by downloading vidIQ in the description below, because if you're a new customer, you can get it for 30 days free. Our entire suite of tools to try it before you buy it. We also have a pretty robust free tool if you're not ready to invest in your channel in that way. And you could all find kinds of fun, fancy things in your Google Chrome extension when you authenticate your channel and visit YouTube. So there you go.
I feel like I need to drop this in there. Y'all, you tune in on Fridays, Women of YouTube channel takeover.
Yes.
We're definitely giving away some free licenses. So don't miss it. Be here Friday, 2:00.
Yes.
The other part that we did not highlight, that she kicking us off our own channel, man. She kicking us out of here. She's bringing all the people out there. She kicking us out of here. We gone.
It's fine.
We deserve it. I mean, we deserve to be kicked out of here.
Or need a break.
Yes, or you can look at it that way, the more positive way. We could use a break. We work hard, right? So thank you for relieving us for a day. And yes, this coming Friday, set your calendars. We'll have the stream probably published, I would think, tomorrow, so you can set a reminder and join Desiree and friends for that. So let's talk about how this Q&A works, shall we? I'm going to post this banner right here. We like to see your questions. If you use the hashtag question in all caps, that's the easiest way for us to see those questions. There's also multiple conversations going on in chat, so it helps us pick those out. I would say, unless you guys disagree, we would like to see questions that especially relate to planning content in the future. Maybe if you're thinking about making a big move for your channel, things like that. I imagine we might get to some more general YouTube questions as well. But for a lot of these Q&As, we do tend to answer those a lot. So in particular, if you want to have your questions similar to the topic we're covering today, that would be extra awesome. And any other requests before we get started?
No.
Once again, for people that are watching or listening to the live stream, we are not doing channel audit today. Come back next week.
Yes, Tuesday for channel audits. And then today, again, download our tool and audit your channel with the channel audit tool.
Do it.
All right, so let me quickly find some questions here. We have one right here from the Hustle Factory podcast show. Just branding question for everybody. Would it benefit me highly if I change the name of my podcast with my name attached to it instead of my current channel name? Your honest thoughts.
Is your I would think if it's if this is the name of your podcast, this should be the name of your YouTube channel. However, the content that's on this YouTube channel should be the Hustle Factory podcast.
Yes. I think if you name the channel after yourself as the host of the show, it doesn't explain, like, the channel name is another opportunity for people to know that this is a podcast called the Hustle Factory. So it the channel name kind of tells you what you're going to get, just like Desiree's new branding, all in one social media. Like, this is really clear to me. And that is valuable to an audience, I would say. If you're concerned about the branding or the name of your channel, one thing that, as I was trying to read your channel, that struck me is the name's a bit long, the Hustle Factory podcast show. Could you drop the word show even if it's in the official branding, like just for the shortness sake of your YouTube channel name? I don't think that would hurt anything. I don't know if I'm nitpicking now, but if anyone else has any thoughts on that.
I would only say that whatever you choose to go with as far as branding, it needs to be consistent across all the platforms. So if you are going to call it the Hustle Factory podcast, it needs to be that on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you are. Keep your branding consistent. It just makes it that much easier for you to be discovered by people.
Yeah, it looks like the name of his podcast is the Hustle Factory Podcast Show if you just do a quick Google search.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I think it makes sense to keep it the way it is. I think that it could make it consistent. Like, the reason I rebranded to All-in-One Social Media is because that's the name of my agency. So it's not like it was this whole like surprise thing. Like, if you had done any amount of time with me, you know that that's what where Desiree runs her business. Right.
So, and just a general tip for every time I see a podcast channel, I like to just throw this tip out there. You may already be doing this, but I think if you're going to host your podcast on YouTube, YouTube has this unique opportunity for you where not only can you put the full episode up, but you should be taking segments of it and clipping them out into like 1 to 2 minute, make them stand on their own. Make it so you don't have to have heard the podcast and have the context, but do a little bit of editing and use those clips to help promote the podcast throughout the week. Because
I would do shorts. Like,
yes.
Short 59-second clips. Those are huge. And what's cool, if you're because you know me, I'm all about multi-purposing content. You can take those and make them into reels on Instagram.
You could post them on TikTok. You could post them on Twitter. I mean,
it's a great way to use video. In fact, I would encourage almost, you could even experiment with just not having the full episodes anywhere up on YouTube and just have clips.
Yeah, it's true. So there's a lot of ways you can approach a podcast channel. So we do wish you luck. Let's see here. Just looking for questions now. And if you guys see any, I know you probably can't actually grab them, but if you see like the name of somebody, you want me to find it.
I'll answer this one real quick. They are asking us, what are we using for the stream? We are using a program called StreamYard. It is browser-based, so you don't have to download any software. You just go out to StreamYard.com, sign up, and then you can use it directly from your browser. So I would highly recommend using them. They're awesome.
The easiest, bestest live streaming tool on the planet, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yes, we love StreamYard. I just want to, there's a couple questions here back to back. I want to tackle this one because I had experience with this morning, and it's just fresh in my mind. Is it important to upload at the right time? I would look very carefully at your audience data, because YouTube tells you in the audience tab in your analytics when the majority of your viewers are online. And I would just pay close attention to that. We also have our tool that embeds that in the edit functions as well. I would be really just aware of that. You want to publish before all of your viewers are online, but if you publish, I would say at the wrong time, you might find that the video is underperforming, and you're kind of sitting there like, well, this shouldn't be underperforming. I did my research and it should be doing well. This is the problem I had on the personal side. Early this morning, I launched a video that had all the recipes, all the fix-ins. I did everything that normally gets the views I expect to get, and it flopped. And my videos have been flopping in the last couple of weeks. And I looked at my audience data, which I hadn't looked at in a while, only to learn that the majority of my viewers, YouTube says very many of your viewers are online. They're all online at like 3 o'clock. And I'm like, what's going on? This is not right. They're normally here early in the morning. Light bulb moment, school started. I've been publishing my content on the summer schedule, and I never thought to maybe think about pivoting the content to publish a little bit later in the day, So it can be important to publish at the right time. You also have a lot of control over when your audience is online, depending on how often you publish and the audience you're targeting. If you're someone who publishes at 2 a.m. consistently all the time, that audience data may shift to where the majority of your viewers are at 4, because you've just kind of conditioned them to be there at a certain hour too. So there's I've experienced that as well. So it's like this tug of war, but it's more important to research your audience and the things they, depending on who you're targeting, they're going to be on at different times. My channel, I think, targets a younger audience, so they're in school, and that was not something I had reckoned with.
I also think it's important to think about, again, I have no idea what gnarly emoji does, because it's a great name.
It's a great name. I like the emoji.
Right. I think it's also important to know, okay, when you post, how do your videos tend to perform? For me, I post pretty consistently at the same times, but for me, my content tends to pick up after the 48 hours. So that's how my content works. So what is your promotion strategy? Do you have an email list? Do you have a social plan? What are you going to be sharing your content? How are you using your community tab if you have it? So those are other factors to take into account, because it doesn't, I'm saying, should you post at the right time? Yes. Is it the end all be all? No.
Right.
This depends on your content, I think. Right?
Yeah. YouTube is going to recommend that to the people it thinks are going to watch. And if you posted it, way earlier than they're online, it can still find them. But if you're looking for that velocity when you publish a video and you want to see it get views really quick, you can probably refine that. But yeah, I would say it's important, but not a deal breaker for any given video. And then the other question we have here from one of our moderators. By the way, moderators, thank you so much for all the hard work you do. Thank you for being here today. You are awesome. I do hope if you're around on Friday, if you want to help out Desiree and friends, please do. When do you think would be a good time to start fresh / a new channel? Would you say there are signs that a channel would be better? So a new channel would be better. Sorry.
So it sounds like you have an existing channel, but you want to consider starting a new channel.
I would say the best way to make the decision is the content you want to make for a new channel. Sorry, is the content you're wanting to make, does it match with the content that your audience expects of you on this channel? And if the answer is no, then a new channel should be made.
I mean, again, going back to what I was saying earlier too, you might be thinking like, well, wait a minute, what if I have some subscribers that would watch anything I do? Like maybe it's not so bad to start fresh but on the same channel. And you have it's a personal decision in that case, because I would just make sure you're assuming I'm starting from zero. I've got to assume nobody is interested in what I'm about to do. The other thing I worry about, like the reason I always say my secret channel, is because I don't want my metrics manipulated by people who are more interested in other things checking out just one of my videos. And now YouTube's algorithm's like, hey, people who tend to like vidIQ videos also like this guy's videos for some reason. So now they're pushing my videos out to the wrong people, is what I'm afraid of. And it's just one of the few reasons that I don't like to share what I'm doing outside of work. Could it represent a small spike in views for a moment in time? Yeah, but I don't want it. So you might have the same thing where if you're going to be doing something so dramatically different, a new channel might be the thing to do, because those other subscribers might watch for you the first time, and then they don't come back.
Yeah, 100%.
Slowing you down.
I think that you'll always have people, especially for someone people like, that they'll just love everything that you're doing and they'll follow it. And those are your raving ride or dies that you can count on. But I think that Dan's idea if I started from no one and no one knew who I was, would this channel be good? And could I apply the same principles that work for my existing channel? What's really cool with starting a new channel is that you're not starting with nothing. And by saying with nothing is because you have all of your existing experience on this channel that you get to apply to your new one. So it'll probably grow faster or easier or be less of a frustration for you because you'll know what to do.
My first 10,000 subscribers took me 6 years. The second time around on my next channel, 6 months.
Nice.
That was all just experience. Just
was it the same kind of channel or was it different?
I can't reveal too much, but it was in the similar space, but a different topic.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but again, just experience is everything. So you may feel like, well, I just got it to X many subscribers and I just got it to this point, but you didn't just do that. You've learned a ton along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't mean to interrupt. It looks like Viper, you're about to say something.
No, man. I just love the answer. My man was like, no, that's G14 classified. I can't tell y'all what I'm doing, but just know I'm doing it. I respect that. That's what's up.
It's again, it goes back into what I was just saying in the last question. Like I don't want people to, I like to be a different person sometimes. And I think everybody needs that escape.
You are only allowed to be Dan the vidIQ guy forever.
That's the problem. See, I'm like Daniel Radcliffe. Like I don't want to be typecast as Harry Potter forever. I have other things I want to do.
And I think that is why it's okay to have multiple channels.
Right.
And I think that's how you kind of know.
So this is something I think, Desiree, you could speak to, just given the immediate experience here. Does deleting videos keep your views and hours from going down?
So I do something with my channel that I don't think everyone does. I go through my channel every quarter and I will delete videos that are not performing. And when I say videos that are not performing, like legit 0 views, because like many of us, I have a past and mine's all on YouTube, and it's not like in a bad, weird way. It's just like, the thing that does it is if my videos are being presented to people, if I'm getting impressions on videos and no one is watching, that's hurting me. And so if YouTube is saying, look, we're showing these videos to people and no one's watching them, I'm going to take those down, because that means that a video that someone could want to watch, that is better or is more relevant, could be doing well, they put that up. Now, I literally deleted my top 5 of my top 10 performing videos because it was the wrong audience that was being brought to my channel. And so, yes, my views took a massive nosedive. I went from like 120,000 views a month to like 76,000 views a month. Like it was a big drop, but it was strategic and intentional. But
Well,
yeah.
can I ask why? There's probably a good reason for this. Why not unlist them? Just for the metrics.
I make them private. I don't delete. Like I make them private. I don't because I don't make them unlisted because they will still get shown. I've gone through and listed. I will see videos that people have watched because they'll be like in a playlist or something.
Right.
And so I don't want them to interfere with my good stuff people want to watch, especially because it's social media for me. Like it's like stuff from 4 years ago is super not relevant.
True. Very, very topical.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not very topical, but like when you're talking about tutorials,
yeah,
it's most likely the entire process has changed.
Right. It'd be kind of like, yeah, like the other day, Twitter said they're testing full edge to edge pictures and videos now on their timeline. And it's that kind of stuff that, like, you know, that's more relevant than maybe what they were doing with an update way back in the day that you might have covered, you know?
Yeah.
So if people are looking for Twitter updates and they see your old video, which probably wouldn't happen, I'm just trying to come up with an example off the top of my head. It's not working.
Very, very relevant one. It'd be kind of like for like if someone was trying to create a new YouTube channel and classic YouTube mode showed up versus the current studio, like that wouldn't work.
Precisely, yes. We have a lot of content here like that where, you know, we were using the older looking YouTube studio. Our tool has had updates, you know, vidIQ. So those videos need to be updated. And we could consider.
And the best thing you can do in those situations is just at like the 20-30 second mark, put a big card up at the top that says update. And then at the top of the description, do updated video here because helps your watch time, helps your click through rate. So like, and then it gets them on track for more updated content as well. Because I would have to turn off comments on videos that people would watch, and I wanted them to go watch the updated version, but they would be countless comments that are like, "This doesn't work anymore." I'm like, "It's because you didn't read the flipping card." Or go look at the description and see the giant bold update with the million little stars up there saying updated video. Go watch this one.
Right. I want to go back real quick and cover something that she just said. She said that she privated the video. She did not delete the videos. I am staunchly against deleting videos on YouTube because once you delete a video, you lose that watch time, you lose those hours, you lose everything. It's gone. So it's always better to private or unlist videos than delete them. So if you can, do not delete videos. Just don't delete them. Just unlist them or private them. It's a lot better that way.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make a decision that you know will upset your audience? I want to spend less time on live streams and more on regular videos. So you're looking to pivot away from live streams, and you've kind of built this audience that expects live streams, so you don't want to upset them.
That's hard, man. Because you're talking about two different audiences at that point. This is the subject that is near and dear to my heart, because I made an entire channel exclusively dedicated to live streaming because live streaming on my regular channel at the time was hurting my analytics. So it's a lot different today. I think YouTube is a lot more live stream friendly as far as integrating those with regular uploaded video. But when you talk about a live stream audience versus an audience that is there to watch regular uploaded videos, you're talking about two different audiences. So if you're primarily live streaming, but now you want to completely switch from that to doing regular videos, you are definitely going to alienate some people, and you're probably going to lose some people. So it's just a matter of, are you ready to make that switch? Or maybe it isn't something that you can make a dedicated channel for. If that's an option, maybe that's not an option. I don't know. But yeah, the other thing that we need to realize too is that I think most people, except for the bigger creators, but most of us that are just starting out on YouTube, whenever we upload a video, usually more people who are not subscribed watch our videos than people that are actually subscribed. So take that into account. Most people that will be watching your video aren't subscribed, so it's easier to make that type of pivot when you know that most of your audience isn't going to be familiar with your content anyway.
I have so many thoughts on this. So many thoughts on this. First of all, it's okay to change. Like I think it's kind of the theme of this episode. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to grow. It's okay to have different needs. And so I think first and foremost, if you need to do this for whatever reason it is, especially if you've live streamed, that means you have a really strong bond with your community. I think that you can tell them why you're doing it and know that some people are going to be upset about it and that some people are going to leave, and that's fine. And honestly, like in business, you have to kind of have this mentality of like, if they leave, they're not a customer. Like they're not a customer I want. They're not a customer I need. If they're not willing to pivot with me through my change and my growth, I wish them well, but we don't need them. We're going to focus on these new people that need us. And so that's always hard. I also think that you do this gradually. I think that it's not just like one day, boom, no more live streams and all just pre-recorded video. I think that you could go down to like one or two a week or just 2 a month. You can gradually do that. You also have a really unique opportunity where you can, and this is something I just did like literally today for my YouTube channel. I unlocked memberships. I set up memberships on my channel, and I'm offering membership only live streams. So like I'm offering like content reviews, like any content you have, join our members only live stream and I will review it for you no matter what it is, right? So that's why I'm offering them for $5 a month. You could do that. Like if if people really want this from you and make it a little more worth your time financially for the people that are really into your stuff, and have that members only live stream that you could do so that you're making you're making money from it. And there's nothing wrong with making money. Like that's kind of why we're all here at the end of the day. We're making content because we love it and we love helping people, but money helps motivate and move our needles forward so we can keep doing this thing that we love. So that's like how I would look at it. I also think if the thing that's also important to consider is that how YouTube promotes live streams is really different than how YouTube promotes premiere videos and how YouTube promotes regular videos. So if you're using a tool like StreamYard, Live Pigeon, you could do live streams of pre-recorded videos. So you would still need to show up in the chat and stuff and be there, but you'll still benefit from that live stream trigger promotion that YouTube offers to you as well. So that's also kind of like a little gray area that you can work into if you're trying to still benefit from what live streams have to offer with your regular videos. So what I have done is full on tutorial videos, explanation videos, not like how to set up a Facebook page stuff, but like 10 ways to use LinkedIn to grow your business. I will use the pre-recorded option and show up in the chat and be there and use the live stream notification feature to get my videos seen in that way.
Yeah. I would just tell anyone kind of struggling with this, like, how do I do blank without upsetting my audience? Or I know it's going to upset my audience. How do I handle that? I think it comes down to some soul searching too. Like if you are truly done with live streams, you probably have another goal in mind. So you need to ask yourself, like, why do I feel like these viewers would be upset? I'm making a decision that's going to be good for me at the end of the day as a creator. I'm going to be more creative because of this decision, or, it will show too in your content. Like if you're in a good mood while you're recording because you made this decision and your plate feels a little bit less full and you have this monkey off your back, you can kind of breathe at the end of the day when you're making your content. And if people don't like that, it kind of, Desiree, you already alluded to this, but isn't that okay? If they don't like it, you don't need them to be around, because that's going to just weigh on you again. Like, well, these comments are saying I really should go back to live streaming. I don't want to, but maybe they're right. Don't let your viewers like pull you in a direction you don't want to go. It's always good to read your comments, always good to look at what people are saying in your community. But at the end of the day, you're the creator. You're the person that has to make this content, and it all comes down to you. So don't let that weigh on your conscience, because I did this. I made this mistake when I was younger and starting out, and I let my comments tell me what to do, and I found myself pivoting the channel in all kinds of different directions because I'm like, well, my comments said I need to do this now. And they must like it. And then I would do the video about the thing they told me to do, and the people asking for it wouldn't even comment on it, much less didn't even get views in the first place. And that was always the biggest like table flip moment. Like I spent all this time, I listened to my audience like I thought I was supposed to, so it's a sore spot for me thinking about like, oh, I know this will upset my audience, but what should I do? Do what you obviously you have something in your gut, like you have an idea, like do that, And yeah, that's my impassioned speech.
Woo! That's how you say it with your chest, people. That's how you say it with your chest. That's what we're talking about. I like it.
I trailed off. I'm not super proud of that.
This is why you're the host with the most.
Well, thanks.
That's a bad man.
I do have another one here. Let's see. Is there a strategy to find the type of video that resonates with my viewers in my niche? Vlog, tutorial, lifestyle, etc. Is that I'm wondering, is that the niche, or are you trying to pick a niche still? That might be my question back to you.
What strategy to find the type of videos? I think he's wanting to know what kind of videos. How do I know what videos work best with my niche?
So you're gonna have to do a lot of experimenting with the different types that you outlined here, and then after you do your experimenting, as far as how much its number goes, I mean, maybe do 10 of each. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, go ahead.
You could go the Mr. Beast route, make 100 videos, then you look at it and see which ones do best. Like it's honestly, if you really, really, really can't take the time to make the videos, go look at the other people in your niche that are creating content that's working successfully and see what they're creating.
There you go.
And make more of that. I do, however, think vlogs, tutorials, lifestyle are all vastly different. So I would pick one and that you like to make. And then that is what you are the expert in. And like that's your signature style jam for relaying the information.
I love how she said that, because it's not just about what the audience wants. It's about what you as the creator want to make. Because if you don't enjoy making the content, you're not going to last long. You're going to burn out. You're going to get tired of it. And then you're going to walk away. And nobody wants that. So figure out what it is that you like, and then figure out what it is that resonates with the audience and try to merge the two. And that is how you live your best creative life.
Yeah, I found for me, like having like my signature like method of doing it, and then I would experiment with other ones. People just didn't like it. Like you sit down in front of your computer and either have a wall or like a specific set behind you. You get to the point. Like that's what people want from me. They don't want all the extra fluff. They don't care about what's going on in my life. They don't want to see me make coffee. They just want, I want my tutorial and I want to be done.
You're speaking my language. That is my language right there.
direct to the point. That's your love language.
That's my language. Just sit down in front of the camera and turn the camera on and go. None of this fancy stuff. Nobody got time for that. Just let me talk to you. We can go about our business.
Yes.
A lot of people who are passionate about these multiple things, and vlogging is like one of them, they start a separate vlog channel. And if you have time to do that, that's certainly a route you can go. If for example, you are making tutorial videos, you know what I mean? So maybe you can just once in a while invite people. Hey, by the way, if you want to see me make coffee and eat soup, I have this vlog channel. It's great. I eat coffee.
That is when you get into member specific content. That's what the memberships are for, where you
that is true.
Content just for them.
So a lot of ways you can tackle this, but yes, wish you luck. So many great questions today. Thank you all for being here, asking all these questions. I'm trying to freeze the chat for a bit, get to as many as I can. So hello, fellow influencers. Welcome back, Jensen Jupiter. How we all hope we're all doing good. I haven't published in a while because of school obligations. Is the time away from YouTube a bad thing? I feel guilty for not publishing.
I can't think of a single job that doesn't require a break.
Right.
I can't think of a single activity in life that's time consuming that doesn't require a break. Whether you have a 9-to-5, whether you are a parent, whether you are a kid, a creator, a boss, we all need breaks from things because it allows for us to reset, get re-inspired, and remind us if we even like something still. So you should never feel bad about it. And if you feel guilty, I'm sure that like feeling guilty means that it's actually something you like. Like you feel guilty, like, oh, I miss my people. I miss doing this. I miss this creative outlet. And maybe you miss the money. Maybe you miss the community that you built, whatever it may be. But you should never feel bad for taking a break. Will you have some work to do when you get back? Yes, of course you will. But it doesn't change the fact, though, that it's okay to take a break. You have to do what you have to do to take care of what's in front of you. And you should not feel bad about that.
So I'm glad that Doesn't Way went first because she gave you the motherly answer. Now I'm going to give you the Viper answer. The Viper answer is that absolutely YouTube is going to punish you for taking time away. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of what we do. If you are uploading at a certain frequency and then for whatever reason you stop uploading for a while, like I recently stopped uploading for 2 weeks on my main channel, and yeah, not really the best. But like she said, if you need to take time away, then you got to take that time away. I mean, real life comes first, and then you can come back to YouTube. But will YouTube not like that? Absolutely, YouTube will not like that. So that's something that you have to deal with when you come back. But you can get back on the wheel and do your thing, though.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to like be discouraging. It's like, I don't think you have to pick between
no
making YouTube happy or making yourself happy, but but in the future though, if you need a break, now maybe this was a little bit of an unplanned break, like this. You said school obligations. You could always plan a break by batching your content out, scheduling it, and then you don't have to worry about it for a month or two. And then take like that break that you might need to step away. I know plenty of people that have done that. So just don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to do it pretty soon myself because I think me and Desiree both we're gonna be in LA pretty soon. Actually, all of us are gonna be in LA pretty soon. So when we go to LA for a week, I gotta have stuff that comes out. So yeah, batching content definitely.
Yeah, and what Viper's talking about is we are all going to the Vid Summit, which is like nerd. It's like video nerd con. Like it's like going to and like going to camp at the same time. You see all your old friends and you learn and you get inspired and you don't feel weird by being the only person in the room carrying a camera. You know, it's great.
My middle of the road answer for this is maybe during the school year you adopt a new schedule, one that works. If you're doing 3 days a week, you scale back to 1 day a week. If you're doing 3 videos a month, maybe it's 1 video a month. You basically adopt this new schedule and get your audience used to it. It is less shots at the target, though, as we've all kind of said a little bit. Like the more you upload, the more opportunities you have. But it is less shots at the target. That is an understanding that you will just need to kind of take in. But it is still possible to create this content. Just take on a new schedule and don't be hard on yourself. I mean, we all have other stuff going on.
Yes.
All right. Now, this one, the questions like this are always really interesting. So YouTube says each video is treated as its own entity, not the channel. And what they're referring to is that YouTube themselves have said, like, every video is evaluated by its own merits. We're not factoring in the channel's history to like put your video in a certain spot. That's one thing they've said. How can you quantify the result to your channel based on deleting/unlisting certain videos? I'm trying to, when I read this the first time, I'm like, oh, I think I know what they mean, but now
the results of your channel. Okay. I think that it's about, this goes back to reflecting what were the goals and objectives of your channel in general. Like, what is the purpose of your channel? Like, so the purpose of my channel is to get leads to my agency. So my measurement is, what does my email list growth look like? What does my open rate look like? And what does my click-through rate look like from my emails because of that? And then how many sales are converted from that? Other measurements, like my secondary ones, because I do get ad revenue from my channel, which funds the video editing and thumbnail creation, like all the services I pay for to make sure the channel functions the way it's supposed to. So then for me, it's like I need views and my ad dollars. So those are the things that matter to me in it. And like, that's how I can quantify. So if a video is taking away from those goals, and for me, my measurement was it's being shown to people and not watched. Therefore, it is not helping with my results that I want for my channel. So it gets unlisted or set to private. So I think that you just have to kind of make sure every video you create is aligned with the goal of your channel, along with the audience you're intending to serve.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know if it helps.
I think you nailed it. I was gonna say, because I thought this question was going in another direction, and you kind of touched on it there. So YouTube says your videos are evaluated on their own, which on the surface sounds like, oh, cool, I can upload whatever I want. But the channel over time builds up, and you build up returning viewers to the channel. And so if you take focus away from that, there's still, both things play into it. So you can't take the information that YouTube gave us on its own at its face value and just say, oh yeah, I can do whatever I want because YouTube is going to evaluate each video separately. Well, they're going to show that video to who? People who have seen your content in the past. And if people don't like the new thing you upload, then the video is not going to do as well upon launch. And if the video doesn't do as well upon launch, there's no signals to send to the algorithm that, hey, people feel this way about the video. Or it might just be very negative. Hey, the click-through is really low. I'm not going to keep showing this video. So
it all starts with a video, but it supports a channel.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
So it's one of those weird quirky things. I think that it's not as black and white as it might be interpreted, which is like each video is treated individually. Okay, ish. But its success is based on previous videos' success and what your audience cares about right now.
Yes. What that is from YouTube is permission to test things, try new things, but still, I would say within your niche, within your interest, within your expertise, within your wheelhouse. But don't be afraid to try new things.
I would not try all new things all at once. I would be like, if you're to take a 21 day, like this is Daryl Leaves the logic. Take 21 days. Let's say you upload 2 videos a week. In those 2 weeks, you want to keep making the videos that you know are supporting your channel. But one of those 6 videos should be something new you want to test to see how it goes. Then you have to give it a minimum of 21 days to see how it did before you create another one that's going to match it. Because you can't just turn a light switch on with YouTube. It's going to make them really mad, and it's going to be hard to correct. And I know that it's a little bit of kind of what I'm dealing with my channel, but it was like a necessary push because I needed to remove a whole lot of like wrongdoings. But for trying new things you want to do, you have to ease YouTube into it.
I think we have the perfect person on this live stream to attest to this, Viper. I'm a small YouTuber, not the small YouTuber part, but how do I collab with established channels? How do I go about doing? So this channel is a certain size, and they're looking at channels that are up here and going, I want to work with them. How do I do that?
Oh, yeah, this is right up Viper's alley. So, oh my God, so much to this. So basically, here's the thing. When you want to collab with more established channels, I think the first thing to realize is that you want to have a body of work in place, right? I don't think if you're starting off day 1 or week 1 of YouTube and you can reach out to collaborate with a smaller, larger channel, I don't know how much success you're going to have because you don't have a body of work. Because we creators, we take what we do very seriously. So when someone reaches out to do a collab with us, we are going to vet you. And when I say vet you, we're going to check your channel. We're going to see how much work you're putting in. We're going to look at your upload frequency. We're going to look at the quality of your content, this, that, and the other. We're going to make sure that you are about this creator life, because the last thing anybody is going to do, and especially as an established creator, is put their face, their name on your channel if you are not about the business. So once you get past that, then it's all about being polite and having finesse, because this stuff takes time. When you talk about reaching out to more established creators, you have to realize that they are very, very busy people. So when you reach out the first time and you don't get a response, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. Maybe wait a week or 2 or whatever, and then try to reach out again. But have patience, and whatever you do, do not spam them, because that will get you blocked, and just, that's not going to work. So don't spam them. Be patient. Have a body of work that they can look at, and don't be somebody never seen before. Like, I get annoyed when people come into my DM and trying to be like, Viper, want to collab with me? But I've never seen them before. Like, I've never seen them on my channel, on my live streams, and I put out enough content, so I know who's showing up and who's not showing up. So if you do want to have that establish that relationship, make sure you're being supportive. Make sure you're active in their community, in their video comments and things like that. It's a lot easier to get that connection when you're somebody that they have seen before in their community. So just consider those things and go from there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I also think it's important to note, why do you want to collab with this person? A lot of people think that the reason to collaborate is because they're going to promote your stuff. And that is not how that works. Nope. The reason to collaborate is because it helps add extra validation and extra new information to your channel to help your audience. And I think that that's important to remember. I did a collaboration at the beginning of the year with 10 fellow live streamers, giving advice. And I was able to get really fantastic creators to do stuff on the video, but none of them shared it. That wasn't the point. The point was they knew stuff I didn't, that my audience would benefit from. And so, and it was fun. Everything was fun. It was a different thing that I got to do, and I got to learn too. So that is really important to ask yourself too, when it comes to why you want to collaborate with this big person. Because if your objective is cross promotion, maybe find someone a little more at your level and then collaborate on both sides, like where you're creating for their channel and they're creating for your channel, and you're doing it together so that you can benefit both of the audiences and potentially get viewers from both.
Yeah, the collaboration has to make sense for both you and the other channel too. So just be aware of that too, like she said.
Yeah. Excellently executed. Thank you for tackling that. You both took words out of my mouth. I've been networking a lot lately myself and in my free time, and it's been paying off. It's awesome. And it is exactly what Viper said. Just being around, being present on Twitter, comments, whatever it is. Like once you start to be this recognizable figure, this person might see like this person talks like me. Maybe they make videos. Hey, they do make videos. Look at that, And before you know it, they might reach out to you instead, which is what happened to me. So
the YouTube community has the best people.
yes.
Like once you find I'm in an Instagram chat with Viper and a bunch of other YouTube creators for like a clubhouse that we do every week. And it's just awesome because we just share what's going on in our lives and stupid things that people will say or do or get excited for each other and support each other. And it's just when you find your people, like your group, your posse, like it's amazing. It's like having this like online group of best friends. You never would have had them in your life that wasn't for YouTube and what you were doing. So like I highly encourage you to reach out to people just to be friends, and then the collaborations will come.
Yep.
Naturally.
The beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And the other cool thing is that the YouTube world isn't as big as some of y'all think it is. It's really not that big.
It's not.
I am quietly looking for questions, so sorry to leave you both hanging.
Oh, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Let's see.
See if we can help.
Yeah, there's a few interesting ones, just long, and I'm trying to decipher them as I go. Let me refresh chat here. Maybe we'll see what's going on. If you've been posting your question over and over and we haven't been getting to it, you might want to reword it. I have skipped some that I'm trying to make sense out of, but I haven't pulled them up because I just don't quite understand what's being asked.
Okay. I got one real quick here from Alex Barish. He says, is there any free alternative to Social Blue Book for estimating starting negotiating point for brand deal negotiation, blah, blah, blah. Yes. As far as actual site, I don't know any alternative that's free. I think all of them charge them. I'm pretty sure there is one out there, but I don't know it. But here's what you should do. And what I tell creators to do about this. If you're new and you're trying to establish like a starting point for what you should charge brands to work with you, do not be afraid to reach out to your fellow creators who have already been doing it and are more established in the space than you, because they will tell you how much you should charge, or they will give you a general idea of how much you should be charging for brands to work with you. And they will be happy to do this. You want to know why they'll be happy to do this? Because they don't want you to shortcharge yourself. Because when you shortchange yourself and you undervalue yourself, it makes it bad for all of us. It makes all of us look bad, and we ain't got time for it. So do not be afraid to reach out to your fellow creators to establish your worth, especially if you're new in the space. Someone will help you. Just reach out.
And while I can understand the logic of doing it for free, remember that there's probably a creator out there in the same place that you are that's getting paid. No company's going to pay you if they don't have to, right? And at the very, very, very least, negotiate an affiliate that is ongoing and maybe even at a higher percentage because you're creating video content versus like an Instagram or video or like photo post. Because like you can't like I love what Viper said. It makes us all look bad. The reason that there's a massive deficit with how much YouTube creators get paid for stuff. There's a big deficit between how much male creators and female creators get paid as well. But you have to understand that what you do takes time, and you are the talent. You are the one helping their business by creating content that they can also use for their own channels and their own social medias and stuff. So don't undervalue yourself. Don't be unreasonable, but remember that you should deserve to make money.
Yeah. So this person wants to know, should they leave the video promotion to YouTube or do the legwork themselves? Viper's so excited. I have thoughts on this too.
I know you do. It's so funny because I was just watching one of your live streams on vidIQ here, Dan, where you were talking about this.
Mhm.
And you were making a point about how you were talking about your other gaming channel that you don't let nobody know about because you want YouTube to do the promotion and stuff, and you don't want people to know about it. So I actually experimented with this myself because usually when I upload a video, I put it on Twitter too. But for my last video I did, I didn't upload it to Twitter at all. I just let the YouTube do its thing, and it kind of took off. So I've only done it for one video, but it does appear that YouTube is well equipped to put your video where it needs to be for the people who need to watch it. So I'll let Dan elaborate more because this is his thing, but it does seem to work, at least for the one video I did.
I think the experiences will vary. It kind of depends on how you treat your social media, right? Like if you constantly don't provide value on social media and you use it as a link dump, the Twitter algorithm doesn't like that, you know? So you have to be doing, Desiree could speak to this way better than I can, but you have to be doing the work. You have to be there in the community. And then every so often I'd say, yeah, you can promote a video or two. But for me, I let YouTube do all the work for a few reasons. One, I don't want to be posting links all the time. It's just one extra thing to do. And two, YouTube is more than capable, as has been proven to me over and over and over again, of doing all that work for me. So it's kind of, I've made the decision as a creator to let YouTube do that, even though there are things based on the content that I make that there are places I could be putting that content to get it some more views, I think. I have a friend that does this. I won't mention their name or anything, but when they started YouTube, they did most of the legwork themselves. And what was interesting is their channel was actually really successful because they did it right. They were covering gaming. They would go into the community of the game they were playing, and they would just be on the Reddit or whatever it was, providing all kinds of value. And then sometimes a question would pop up, and they're like, my last video answered that question. And they'll say, hey, I just noticed this question, blah, blah, blah. I made a video on this the other day if you want to check it out. I can explain it better than I can right here. So here you go. They would do stuff like that all the time. And it took up a lot of their time, but it worked. But that's a lot of legwork, you know? And again, I made the decision not to go that route because I don't have that kind of time. So I think you should let YouTube do the work. But Desiree, I don't want to steal any more thunder there. I did talk about social media and I shouldn't have done that.
Oh, no, you're fine. Y'all know what like pulpit I stand at when it comes to this. You cannot count on a third-party tool to take care of your business. Like, you can't. I rely on YouTube to put my videos in front of people around suggested and browse. However, I am a resource-based YouTube channel. If you go look at my analytics, it'll tell you you're getting your traffic from browse, or from not from browse, but from search. People are usually Googling a question around something related to social media, and I am showing up, which is why it's a priority of my channel to have not only tutorials, but also theory-based videos, because the theory-based videos are what goes up in browse and suggested, and the tutorial-based videos are the ones that bring people in. And so for me, for what I do, my number one objective, and I've said this a couple times in this stream, and I know I've said a lot in all the other streams I've been on with you guys, is I'm here to build my email list. Because I have some 26,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which I know is not great compared to some people's measurements, but I got 15,000 people on my email list. And a big chunk of those people came from YouTube because I offered something related to my content to help them. And as a result of that, I sit anywhere between like a 30 to 35% open rate on my emails because I send them out every single week. So it's one of those things that's like, because I send my emails out every week, my audience knows what to expect of me. My audience knows Desiree's channel is about this, and her emails are going to support this, and she's going to probably give me extra things I didn't know I needed help with. And it's going to be things like I promote all of my videos that came out that week. I talk about tips and news and industry information, trends that are happening on Instagram and TikTok. I talk about the Women of YouTube podcast episode that came out. You know, I give resources and tool help if I have a sponsor, if I'm speaking somewhere. They know what to expect in my communication, so they're able to take what they want from it and use it to what they're doing. So do I think that YouTube is a part of all of this? Absolutely. But you have to set YouTube up to make it successful for you. Part of that starts with good titles and good thumbnails, and doing the other things that we learn here on the vidIQ channel to make our channels better, like chapters and SEO and all of the little things that make it better. And then also make sure you're supporting your own business, because what happens when they make a change that does not benefit you? Want to make sure you have a way to communicate with your audience as best as you can.
Yeah.
So there you go. A lot to work with there. So good luck.
I think it's very funny that like we get these great questions and we all have like similar but different perspectives on it because we all do different kinds of content.
Right. Well, and that it just speaks to the nature of YouTube itself. There's no one way that works for everybody. And people come to us like sometimes we get questions as specific as how many videos and how long will it take till I get 1,000 subscribers? Go. And, like it's a math equation that we can just kind of solve, you know, and it's so different for everybody. Like
Really?
Desiree's building mailing lists. I could certainly try to do that in the gaming niche, but it's not what other channels are doing. And I have other things that I'm thinking of kind of doing in place of that, you know? So there's so many like different ways you can approach YouTube, and you really got to do the research. You got to know what it is you're getting into. And yeah, there won't be one simple answer for certain questions.
No.
Yep.
So Zephyr Gaming, again, they say, I've made 120 videos, and I've been making videos for a year now, but my sub count isn't going up. What should I do? I thought this was a pretty simple answer for me. I think it's time to test out something new, whether it is doing some research on the current niche you're in and seeing, are you covering the right way? Is there a lot of interest in that niche, assuming it's a game? Maybe people aren't playing that game anymore. Maybe it's time to re-strategize all of your thumbnails and your titles and things like that. But if you've been doing something for 120 videos and you haven't done any meaningful like tests lately, it's time to dedicate a lot more time to research and development on your channel.
All right. So here we go. Here's what you need to do. You got 120 videos out there, which means you have enough data now to go into your analytics and see which videos are resonating most with your audience, which videos are getting you the most subs and things like that. So go into your analytics, figure out which videos are hitting with your audience, and make more of the videos that are hitting and bringing you the subs, because you got enough data out there. So now it's more about making data-driven decisions, which is what we are here at vidIQ. This is what we're about. We're about data-driven decisions. So you got the data, man. Go into the data, analyze it, and then make data-driven decisions to guide your channel forward, and it will work. Trust me.
I want to talk about intros. This is a great question. As an art channel, does having an intro to my videos hurt or help my view times?
Intros for every channel hurt your watch time.
Yep. Thank you for getting right to it. Yes. I've been on a campaign to stop people from using intros. I made a video recently at vidIQ. It's a gaming video, but at the same time, I think it could help anyone. I probably should have opened it to more types of channels, but anyway, regrets. There were so many channels on the list of people who submitted their channels to me that had these long intros, and I was like, why? Like, why are we still doing this? And it was mostly people going like, hey everybody, so in my last video, you guys remember I did this thing, and I'm like, no, like people clicked on a video about something else and you're already talking about something they missed. You know, you can at the end of the video say, by the way, I covered this topic all the time, go check it out. And the video, you know, like short intros, short outros. Don't underestimate a short outro. Mr. Beast does them perfectly. You know, you sometimes don't even realize the video's gonna end because it's in the middle of a sentence. Like he's just like, subscribe, goodbye, and the video's over. And what do you think his retention graph looks like at the end? It doesn't have that slow drop of everyone realizing they're picking up on the audible cues. This video's ending. Nope, it just drops. That's it.
All right, so let me give you all a cheat code about intros. You have 30 seconds to capture a potential viewer on your videos. You have 30 seconds. So think about it. If you have 30 seconds to capture somebody's attention, do you really want your intro to be the first thing that they see or hear when they come to your video? If you have 30 seconds, or is your intro that damn good that in 30 seconds they can get the job done? Chances are it probably can't get the job done. So use the first 30 seconds to do whatever it is that you have to do to grab their attention and keep them on your video. And that is how you start your video.
We saw a channel yesterday. It was a food channel, and the thumbnails were amazing. Like you could tell this person knew their stuff. They were doing awesome. We check out the first video that was in front of us, and what was the first thing we saw on the camera, like on the screen?
Trailer.
The creator. We didn't see any pictures of food or anything. It's the picture of the burger that drew us in, and we see a guy sitting in a chair, kind of in this setting, you know, almost as if they were going to start a gaming video. And that was the advice we gave them: is like, you got to start with this with an intro, not like you talking. Like, and then the next thing after they were talking was this amazing B-roll of all this food flying around on frying pans, and like looked like it was shot on a different planet. It was so different from the actual intro. We're like, that's your intro. What are you doing? You know, it's so important to.
Did you tell them like go clip out the beginning and start with the food?
Yes, that's exactly what we told them. Like, this is your intro right here.
Yeah, lead with no one cares. The number one rule of marketing is no one cares about you. They don't.
Yep.
They just care about what's problem you're going to solve for them. So, and that's all that an introduction does. You know, is it talks about you.
Can you please repeat that for the in the back?
Even shows don't have introductions anymore. If they do, it's like a 3 to 5 second like bleep 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 sound with like the name of the show, and then it goes. That's after it's been on screen for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. There's some shows that their cold open is like the first 15 minutes, and then you're watching and you're getting into it, and then suddenly it plays the intro of the show, like the 3-second like sting, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, the show hadn't started yet.
Or like, I don't know if you watch like ABC shows, they'll have like all of the names and they'll be on there for like the first 10 minutes of this show. Like, really, did we need to do this?
Yeah. There was a show I was watching on Peacock, and it's called AP Bio. I'd recommend it. It's funny. But we had captions on because sometimes, like, if you're eating in front of the TV, like, and you're crunching, you just need to read what's going on. And because of the names at the bottom of the screen, the captions were over everybody's face. They put them up instead of at the bottom, so the names wouldn't get covered of all the producers and everything. And I'm like, I'm too distracted. I don't know what's going on because the captions are covering everyone's eyes. Anyway, intros are important. Don't get people to click off.
Dan, I have a question, Dan.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat said that vidIQ is too expensive. Can you please explain to me how free is too expensive?
I don't get that. I mean, I know that vidIQ is free, and that means I don't even have my wallet in like my pocket right now.
Lost.
But if I download it, I don't have to go get it.
I mean, the last time I checked, free is not too expensive, but maybe I'm just living in a different multiverse. I don't know, but that's just me. I don't know.
Here's what I want people to understand about services like ours, like vidIQ, is I want you to consider that an investment into your channel. And when you're just starting out on YouTube, maybe the free version is the right thing for you. You know, maybe starting small with a limited set of tools is okay. But as that channel grows, our platform grows with you. And if you go up to the first rung on the ladder and pay a little bit of money every month, you are making an investment in your channel, just like you would invest in a camera, just like you invest in editing software. And of course, you can use the link below if you're a new customer. You can get all the tools for free. You know what you're getting into. You know, what is my money going to get me? Well, try the 30-day free trial, and you can find out.
And anything in business, anything worth doing requires an investment of some kind.
Yep.
Whether, like I said, y'all have $1,000 phone in your hand, right? That's an investment that you made in communication technology, creating your content. Y'all have computers. You all have and while I understand that the problem is that all of the advanced features you have to pay for, and I can get where that would be a struggle and a frustration, but it's really just about prioritizing. If you really want growth and you want to understand how to grow and why to grow and what to create, vidIQ is what you use. I've used the other ones. They're not bad. They're nowhere near as comprehensive as what you'll find with vidIQ. vidIQ literally tells me what videos to make. You know how like relieving that is after 400 plus videos on my channel? It tells me what videos to make because these are trending and it's what people are searching for. Like being able to take out all like that time save alone is worth any financial cost that vidIQ has. And to shamelessly plug, if you want to win a free one, come to the Lady Takeover on Friday for the 100th episode anniversary of the Women of YouTube podcast, where we're giving away free licenses.
Y'all walked right into that ad read.
You did.
We didn't have to transition. You did that.
Yeah, it's the marketer in me. Say.
Do keyword phrases in the title carry more weight than keywords in the description for search?
They should be the same.
I would say so. I think, what one thing you're missing from this puzzle is keywords in the video itself.
And in your chapters.
Chapters are keyword opportunities. Don't make your first chapter the word intro is my tip for you. That's not, well, it's not my tip. Other people have said that, but that is wasted real estate right there, because these chapters are searchable. So those, it all matters, but I would encourage your titles to do some research, because titles can be clickable in the sense of they have an emotional pull. You want some keywords in there, but you also want it to be, you want it to tug on a certain emotion depending on what your video is about, and you want the person who's reading that title to click it because it has suggested something or promised something that they would like to get. So if you're too focused, we've seen channels just keyword stuff their titles. We saw it yesterday. They would try 2 different titles in one title line, and you're like, no, like, tell the person who's reading this title what they're going to get, and make sure your thumbnail plays off it well.
Yeah, you want keyword, but you definitely want to make your title for humans. Title your video for human beings, not the algorithm.
For an emotional response. I like, there's like, you can just Google like title generators or headline generators. So once you've used vidIQ to figure out what your keyword should be, you can put it into like a generator tool, and it'll help you create like a really engaging emotional response title. If that's not your jam, it'll really help you out. I've used it a lot for my videos.
YouTube is literally taking the words people speak in a video and making them part of search. And I think we've covered it here on this channel, in fact. So yeah, there's even, that's easier for you. That's more opportunities for you in the script writing process. You could start saying certain phrases that like are going to resonate with the audience, but also just so happen to be searchable. You know what I mean? So you can play with it, and there's a lot of really cool opportunities on the horizon that YouTube's just building into the platform.
I want to ask a question. I wonder where you guys stand on this, because I see it everywhere and it makes me crazy. What are y'all's thoughts on the transition, the natural ask, the Graham Stephen way of asking someone to smash the like button? What are your thoughts on that script, asking for it, all that?
Asking for likes as opposed to subscribers, or?
Yeah, well, some people will go like, they'll tell people to subscribe, or they'll tell people like smash the like button. It really helps with the algorithm, like all that kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on all that?
So I used to do this, but now I don't do it anymore. I just basically at some point in the video, or usually at the beginning of my videos, I just say, and then I just get on with the video. But it's all like the entire video is real estate. And you want to make sure that you are providing as much value as possible with the real estate that you give yourself. Telling somebody to like, subscribe, all that stuff, that is taking away possible real estate from you providing that value. That doesn't provide value to anybody. That's just trying to get your call to actions in there. And while I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it's wasted real estate in my opinion. So I don't really do it much anymore.
Our friend Nate has a great video where he talks about how it's Nate from Channel Makers. He stopped asking for people to subscribe, but instead he started transitioning to just asking for likes. And he can break it down for you. The video is one of his more popular ones, and it's really interesting. Things are improving for him on his channel across the board. So I think a lot of you might have seen it. It's a video from someone named the Spiffing Brit, and they did like an experiment like with likes. And at the time, and things could have changed, obviously it's a while ago now, at the time they basically proved, you could argue it, but they basically proved that likes do impact, how a video performs, based on this crazy test they did. And that's just stuck with me. So I feel like between Nate from Channel Makers and the Spiffing Brit, asking for likes is really important if you're going to ask for anything at all. And then the last thing I'll say on this is, I've personally, because I want to see my subscriber number go up. I like that vanity metric. It's fun. So I've been playing around with different calls to action, and I haven't been overdoing them. Every few videos I'll say, by the way, subscribe. And what I like to do is, if I don't have a reason to tell them to subscribe, I don't do it. But if this video is going to be maybe a gateway video into more of my content, meaning like, if you subscribe, you're not going to miss this journey I'm about to embark on. That's my perfect way to say towards the end of the video, by the way, I've been doing this a lot, and if you want to see the progress of this, subscribe. And that's as long as it ever needs to be, maybe shorter if possible. But I've been finding that not asking for likes or subscribes has not made that much of a difference in my own experience. But again, people like Nate have tested this a lot more.
When you're watching, does it make you want to like or subscribe? Or because you're YouTubers, you're like, I know how this works? No.
Yes, if depending. See, that's the thing. Like, I will forget those buttons are down there, which is funny because I'm a YouTuber and I'm watching other YouTubers, forgetting that I can hit those buttons. If I do literally enjoy what I'm watching and they remind me to subscribe, I will hit I will hit the like button. Usually, I'm already subscribed, or my sub feed's already full and their videos get recommended to me anyway, so I don't need to subscribe. So I'm not going to subscribe. But even if they say subscribe and the like button hasn't been clicked yet, yeah. But sometimes I'm passively watching. Sometimes I'm watching while I'm making food, which means I'm not engaged with my screen. So if I hear them saying like the video, blah blah blah, but I've got hot, stove, bubbling over and everything else. So I'm like, yeah. Shut up, I'm trying to cook. So anyway, that was not a simple answer to your question, but sometimes yes, that works.
I'm just always curious about it. No one had asked about it, and I figured I would because it's on my mind.
How do you feel though?
I hate how Graham does it. I see more people do it. The thing I find interesting in it is I find that, and this might be because of what I do with the Women of YouTube podcast. I've watched lots of different kinds of content. I find that more men ask for the like and the subscribe, and it really and when they do, it tends to be in more of a joking but do it kind of a way. Like, if you want more advice about money, smash the like button, like that whole thing. And a lot of people will do it. Like, I see more and more people doing it, probably because Graham has had the success with it in that way. But I also am always curious, is does it actually help the algorithm? Is that just because they've heard other people say hit that like button, it really helps with the algorithm? Does everyday person understand what an algorithm is? It's just, I have a lot of questions that come around it. And for me, it's if I care about your content, if I've watched it and I've watched more than one thing, YouTube's going to present it to me. So I probably will not subscribe unless you're a friend or someone or it's I want to see your content every time it come out. And so it becomes a subscribe and bell situation. But I'm also a YouTuber and a marketer. So I'm super jaded about it.
I don't think it's required to grow. I think videos, like you said, are getting pushed to you. If you watch enough of this person's videos, it's getting pushed to you one way or another. So yeah, you're going to see it.
Egg Films. It's Graham Stephan. He's a financial YouTuber with 4 million something subscribers.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm going to look at some questions. So I love these streams. We could just kind of talk YouTube for a bit.
Delusional Bob says, is purely focusing on the content good or bad? No intros, no outros, no asking for likes and subs, just purely content.
I was looking at the same question.
Yeah, do it. That sounds like a great experiment. I think it depends on the kind of content you have too. Depends on the relationship with your audience. I don't think Mr. Beast asks for any of that stuff. But also he doesn't have to.
Focus on the I can't talk word viper. Focusing on the content is never bad. As creators, we need to be focusing on the content anyway, because that is what is going to bring our viewers back over and over again. So yeah, if you're just putting out content there and you're focusing solely on the content, that's not going to hurt. That's definitely what you want to do as a creator, because what I always tell people is that you want to make sure that your next video is better than your last video. Anytime you can make a video and you can say that this video is better than the last one I did, you are getting better as a content creator. You are winning. That is what we want. So if that means focusing purely on the content for you, then by all means do that.
Yeah. The content doesn't matter how good your title is, doesn't matter how good your thumbnail is, doesn't matter how good your SEO is. If your content is not good, no one is going to watch it. And YouTube will know if people aren't watching, because they're not going to put your videos in front of other people. So your thumbnails only go so far.
This first 30 seconds is YouTube literally highlights this as the intro of the video. And if this little shape, we call this the hockey stick shape, and this is not really it. A lot of people may experience a very steep drop straight down in those first 30 seconds. And those are viewers you just simply never get back. If you want to avoid that, you want more of this gradual, people are going to click and they're going to skip ahead or they're going to leave. It just happens. That's just what happens on YouTube. You want to try and mitigate that as much as possible. And so you want to be looking at these retention graphs on your content that you've maybe tested intros versus where you haven't used intros, and just see the difference. Like what's interesting for this one, for example, is right here, it seems to kind of level out and go up a little bit, in fact. So what is it? Why did people skip to this part? Maybe it was the chapter that Rob inserted in this area and they wanted to just kind of skip the beginning for some reason. Why over here did it seem to dip even faster? So these are all things, if I was Rob, I'd be looking at, and I would be going in to see more. And I would literally just be like taking my cursor over this. Every time you click on the timeline, it brings you to that point in the video. So what happened right here? Was I saying something that sound a certain way? Like, and the other thing I want to say is that intros, like, let's define intro for a second. Are we talking your name in lights flashing on the screen with music? Or are we talking about, in this video, I'm going to do a blank, because there's a difference. Because Mr. Beast does do that. It's quick, but he'll always start by basically screaming with text flying on the screen. In this video, we have 100 people and we put them in a box full of snakes. What's going to happen? And so you're in the right place. Yep, that's a Mr. Beast video. That sounds like one. And it wasn't Mr. Beast with the logo animated for 10 seconds and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's how my intros are. I always have a kind of a formula I use for my videos so that people know what to expect in the videos, like identifying their problem and connecting, telling them what the video will solve for them, and giving them a reason to stay to the end, right? So I'm just like laying that out. I try not to do too many extras.
Yep.
Manga Crash asks, I'm planning on dedicated October for horror and content in my niche. I have enough ideas and content for the whole month, but as a small channel, would you recommend doing this? I would say that's very topical of you. It's a very good idea. However, what is the plan after October?
October, yeah, especially this October, because the new Halloween movie coming out too this October. So yeah, you have a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, like if it's manga related, my guess is it's like horror mangas, but it's also kind of like, what are you doing in this month to prep your audience for post October?
Mm-hmm.
You're like what are you saying in your videos to let people know this is what we're doing in October, and then this is what the channel's about, and was what we're doing later. Do you have a way to communicate with them later? So it's like, I don't know 100% what your channel's about, but that's what I would make sure that you are planning to do. And don't wait till the October 31st video. But again, tomorrow we're talking about turkeys. Like, don't give them the lead in through the month. Know what to expect on the channel and what's happening next.
What are other people in your space doing?
Yes,
as well. Like, just do a little bit of research. What did they do last year? If you want, some context for like October into November.
But I think it's a good idea. It is a great idea, and I highly encourage you to do it, especially because it sounds like something that would be fun for you to do if that's what your jam is. So.
Okay. This is a mindset question, I think. How do you cope with the fact that there are thousands of others doing the same thing as you? I always feel unworthy of growth because there are so many others doing a better job.
So here's the thing, though. Of course, there are thousands of others doing the same thing as you. You can say that pretty much about any part of any walk of life. However, as it relates to YouTube, there is only one Jensen Jupiter, and that is you. So whenever you put out content, you are going to be the only person putting out the content as you would put it out. And that makes you unique, and it kind of makes you your own niche on YouTube. So don't worry about what the other thousands of people are doing, because nobody is coming on the platform and doing it like you do it.
I think where there are thousands of people doing the same thing of you, there are millions that are not. And that's how I am a social media marketer. We are a dime a dozen nowadays. I'm literally in all these different Facebook groups. And whenever someone's like, I'm looking for a social media manager, just post an hour, there'll be hundreds of comments, people that are like, I do this. But you better bet your bottom dollar, not many of them have a YouTube channel, and they're not doing it well or consistently, or have been there like I have doing it. And that's what makes me different compared to those that aren't. I create for my customer, and I create for the people that need help. And that's who I focus on. I focus on them. I know that there are a lot of other YouTube creators. I know there are a lot of other podcasts out there. I know that there are a lot of other social media managers out there. But I also know that there are way more people that aren't, and that there are way more people that I can help in some way, shape, or form, no matter what you do, whether you are doing something entertainment or education. There are a lot of people that dream and a lot of people that do nothing. At least you're doing something. And I would highly encourage you to think of yourself as worthy because you're trying versus that you're unworthy because others are doing it.
There are a lot of people that wish that they could do what you do. Go ahead, Dan.
No, it's okay. Somebody that I met a long time ago said something that always stuck with me is there's plenty of pie to go around. You know, it's kind of like there's pizza places, like there's several pizza places in one city, right? Why bother opening one? There's already a bunch, but you're going to have a different recipe. You may have services that the other ones don't offer. Maybe your delivery times are faster. Like there's just ways that you can be you. And when people give you, you know, that corny advice people give you when you're younger, you're growing up, like you gotta figure out who you are and be true to yourself. But once you do that, once you kind of come into like understand who you are as a person, meaning who you are as a creator in this case, then it makes a lot more sense. Like, okay, I get what you're saying. How far can I take this person, Jensen Jupiter, and turn it into its own thing? Yes, I'm in this space that a lot of other people are in, but I'm a unique person. How far can I stretch that? You know, how can I be? I felt like I was going somewhere with that, and I kind of lost it. But hopefully, you get my point. I've been playing with this myself. I feel like with my latest endeavor, I've been a little more true to who I am. I like to think of what I do as comedy, and I like to think that what I'm doing makes people laugh. And that's why I'm not worried about anybody encroaching on my space. I'm not worried about somebody else trying to do what I do better, because you literally can't. You don't know what's in my head. You don't know what kind of nonsense I'm going to post on the channel this week or next. And that sets me apart. And that's like the level of confidence I have now going into what I do, because I had to like get comfortable in my own skin. It took a lot of self-reflection.
Yeah. You got this, man.
All right. I let chat get way ahead here. Let's see. Thank you all for being here, by the way, and all of your questions. Having a good time.
Y'all are awesome.
Let's see.
Video game kill count says my videos are inconsistent. Take inconsistent amounts of time to create. Should I release them inconsistently as they are finished, or should I hold them back until I have enough to push out consistently?
How would I approach this? I'm wondering why it would be inconsistent. Is it because they're doing, maybe they have like 3 different series they're doing, and one just takes a lot more production than the others? And I kind of wonder if it calls for a separate production schedule or upload schedule for each series they're doing.
Yeah, I think about like a business like the How to Make Anything channel, where he's got all of these projects going on at once, because it's like he's literally making everything from scratch. Like all the ingredients for making a sandwich he has to make from scratch, and all of the he's making a sweater out of like wool, and he has to do it all from scratch. And so he's got all these multiple projects he's got going on at one time. My advice to you would be you should aim for consistency, and I would find a way to either break up your episodes into parts so that maybe they could happen on a more consistent schedule rather than finishing and completing them all in one set. I would maybe break it up into shorts, add shorts and clips, and then the full videos, like experiment with that process, or just kind of maybe, I don't want to say pause the channel, but maybe pause and then get caught up so that you can get on a consistent. I am doing this. Like that's how I'm doing right now. I went down to 1 video a month for 2 months, I think over the summer, while I was moving and doing my rebranding and stuff, and getting my new content created in bulk. And once I have it done in bulk, then I'm going to be able, I've gone up to 2 videos a month or a week with the goal of going up to 3 videos a week, right? So it's kind of looking at how you can do that as much in advance as you can.
I think that's a good way to look at it. I've been just trying to think of like how I've been tackling things. I have like a minimum amount of videos that I want to put out every week. And then there are times where I will allow for more as kind of, I to myself, I just call that bonus content. You know, I don't tell the audience, hey, this week I'm going to put out 3 videos instead of 2 or whatever. I'll just kind of do it. It's interesting because I make these decisions on the fly. Like if I post a video that I thought would do well and it doesn't, now my numbers are down for the week. And if I have the time to make something else, I'm going to, because it's bugging me that like my numbers are down for the week. But the one thing I try to stay true to is the bare minimum that that the audience has come to expect at these days, at these times. I'm going to have videos coming out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like Desiree said, if you can pause for a second to get yourself up to that bare minimum, that's going to be a good way to get that consistency back, and it just really does help on YouTube.
And maybe even offset it with live streams. Like if you're putting together pre-recorded content, offset the inconsistencies with live streams.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Like animation channels, my advice to them is there anything behind the scenes that you can show? You know, like, or can, like, one animation channel I follow does live streams of them making their next animation, you know, and because animation's hard, like it takes a long time to get that out there. So they'll make a long animation, and then what they're not doing, which I would suggest they do, is to take, like you said, shorts, make like 7-second versions of the thing you already made, and like see if it would look good as a YouTube short. Like YouTube gives us so many tools now to make sure the channel is staying active.
Shorts are a great way to tease upcoming content.
Yeah. There's so many ways you can utilize that. I think we have time for maybe just a couple more questions.
Yeah. Let's see. So many questions.
I know.
All right, so we let me tackle.
Here's one. I think that Jensen question: aren't Viper shades looking hella fire? Yes, I have to agree. Do you do that so no one knows where you're looking when you're looking all over your screen?
Yep, that is exactly right.
Nice.
I stole it from Casey Neistat.
Oh, nice.
That's funny.
So somebody asked, "Oh, UF Video Addict asked, why are UFO channels suppressed?" I don't know if they're suppressed, but I will say that YouTube does suppress some content. A lot of times they suppress like real life hot topics, like if anything like tragic is happening in the world, that content, anything about that content will probably be suppressed, or anything like remotely negative or anything like that might be suppressed. But YouTube does suppress some real time news and things like that, just because that's just how they are. They don't want certain types of content on the platform. I don't know why they will be suppressing UFO content. I don't understand that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were, though, because yeah, YouTube is weird that way.
I think it's a conspiracy theory thing.
There you go.
The other thing, because I was just pulling up the channel in the background, and I guess the thing I would say is the videos have views, by the way, and you got some subscribers, but is this content used without permission? Are you doing enough to be in line with fair use? Because if you're taking other people's videos and uploading to your channel, which I'm not saying that's what you're doing, it's just looking at the channel, I'm not sure what's going on, that could be what's happening. I've noticed that, like, if you go into your copyright section on YouTube, sometimes you find that your videos have been taken by somebody else. And what's funny is that my videos that have been taken from me have like almost no views compared to what the actual original has, because I think YouTube sees what they're doing, and I don't have to do anything. They're just going to suppress that video by just not promoting it. Like, we already have this video. What are you doing? I don't know. So there's too many like ways to kind of like tackle that. But yeah, some good points brought up still. Yeah. YouTube does have some standards when it comes to.
This is one I'd like to tackle. Lyabuba Crafts. What is the best strategy for long short content? I want to do long videos only, but my shorts, I'm guessing, say go viral. How many of each should I post? I post 1 to 2 regular videos a week. My thoughts on this are, if YouTube and your audience like the shorts, make more shorts. Mm-hmm. And I would dissect your long videos into episodic content. So rather than having 1 or 2 videos a week, you could have 3 videos a week, and it could be part 1, part 2, part 3, to break it up to shorter consumable content. That's my suggestion on that, because I I could be wrong. I haven't seen as many channels as you have, Dan Viper, but channels that have both long form content and short form content don't tend to have success with both. But I could be wrong, unless like they're while they're in a growth period, not when they're like, you know, the Logan Pauls and Mr. Beasts of the world.
I've had some weird. I have a very weird experience with this myself because I launched this new channel I've been talking about with shorts and pivoted to long form content. But long form in that it's there. Most of the videos are still the same length. It's the widescreen that I pivoted to, and we talked to someone named BlockFacts who did this, but to a much more palpable. What am I trying to say? It was much more obvious what they did. They were doing very consistent shorts. And then when they made their pivot to long form videos, those videos are doing better than the shorts in some cases. And they went from like 27-second videos to 10-minute long videos. And the key was that they built the shorts audience over a long period of time, got people really used to them. And they noticed the same thing I did, where their views came from browse rather than the short shelf. And once that happened, they realized, oh, I have a lot of returning viewers. I can do whatever I want. Not literally. But he then started making the same kind of video, just 10 minutes long, you know? And that has really helped. So I think consistency plays a role there. And I think, yeah, like hopefully that was kind of related to the question we were answering. I'm going off on too much of a different tangent, I think.
Oh.
But the one thing I'll say about part numbers is the only hesitation there I've always had with part numbers, and this is different again per niche, but in the gaming space anyway, I've always said, make sure part 2 can be watched on its own. Make sure I don't have to, like, if I only want to see part 2, give it enough context that part 2 makes all the sense. If that it's, and again, certain niches may vary, but that's always been my hesitation with seeing a part 2, for example. I don't know if anyone has anything to add or.
I'm looking at more questions. This is one I actually really want to answer. So Kamal Nahim says, with creators like Mr. Beast, Airrack, Yes Theory, etc., the bar has been set so high for creative content and ideas. What tips do you have for someone entering this field of content? First of all, don't try and be Mr. Beast, Airrack, or Yes Theory.
Yep.
Because we already have them. We don't need more of them.
Trends.
Yes.
Jump on trends. If you're getting into, if you're doing a prank channel or a meme channel or something like that, like you are an unknown. Nobody knows who you are yet. So is there anything you can jump on that maybe others aren't focused on too much? Trends within the niche. Trends, like, for example, like a big trend not that long ago was like Dogecoin. Remember, it was taking off and we had Elon Musk on SNL, and that could have been a time where a lot of channels could have found a way to weasel that into their, you know what I mean? So when you're brand new and and the channel's all about personality, right? Trends is going to be where you get your start.
So here's the other thing. A lot of creators, they see successful people like Mr. Beast, Airrack, people like that, and they want to come on here. They want to try to duplicate what those creators are already doing. That is not the correct way to do it. When you are coming on YouTube, what you want to do is figure out what it is that you like. What is the content that you want to make? And then figure out the best way to make the content that you like. Trying to replicate stuff that's already successful is just because you see it being successful is a good way to burn out, because while that content might be successful, if you yourself are not passionate about making that type of content, then you're not going to continue to make it over and over again. Because again, this stuff has to happen over and over and over again. You have to be consistent about how you upload. It will take you years to get an iota of the success of a Mr. Beast. Even if you could replicate everything that he's doing, you're not going to get to this level overnight. You're never going to get to this level. But the thing is, it's all about what you want to do on YouTube. What are your passions? What are your desires? What are your likes? Don't worry about what Mr. Beast has done and been successful with. Worry about what you can do and what you can bring to the table.
I do think, though, to pair off of what they're saying, once you've identified your unique, like your it factor, I think the one thing that you do have to replicate that they have is their quality. And what I mean, like, quality is like they film and they edit very quality content. They're using some kind of good camera, whether it's an actual Canon or Sony, or even just like the newest iPhones and stuff. And they're really thinking through what the shots are. They have really strategic, thought out cuts of what they're doing. they're holding people's attention because they're changing the camera quickly. They're moving quickly. You've got to follow along. You can tell that they're really thinking through when they're making their videos. Can we present this content in a way that is going to engage people and keep them watching and thinking through the storyboard and the construction of a video. So once you identify like what your content is about, all the stuff that Dan and Viper were talking about, you really have to make sure that you're also matching their quality if you want to play on their level.
Thank you both for everything today. We are at time. So if you guys want to learn more about Desiree, all in one social media, check it out. And then on Friday, Desiree is going to be taking over the channel, kicking our butts out of here, and you don't want to miss it. There's going to be giveaways, and there's going to be good conversation. So please join us Friday.
And vidIQ and Dan and all them keep letting me come back on because the Women of YouTube podcast. We're coming on Friday to take over to record our 100th episode, which will be airing in 2 weeks. We'll be giving away some free licenses. We'll be talking with some fellow female creators about the state of YouTube and being a female creator on the platform. And of course, reflecting on the last 2 years of this podcast in existence. So I definitely would not complain if you guys headed over and listened to Women of YouTube, womenofyoutube.com on all places that podcasts can be heard.
Yes.
And it is us, and of course is brought to you by vidIQ.
Thank you so much. And Viper, thank you for jumping in as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll be seeing you around on the channel quite a bit. We definitely appreciate being here. That's it, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're going to go now and drink water and have lunch and
not stare at screens for a minute. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all.
Have a good one, everybody. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.